shall I get a coach or not? It's what source do you want for your education? And do you want to get there quicker, or do you want it to be a self-taught thing?
Basically, with anything in life, people look at, as you were saying, people look at people with a lot of money. Oh, must be nice. That's the lagging indicator. The leading indicator is how many dollars I am spending on a coach, a mentor, and those hours that I'm putting into it. There is zero results guaranteed at that point. But that's the leading indicator of the work that I am putting in. Just like going to the gym. You go to the gym first 3 months and you've never worked out before. You may have a little difference. You may not. It's going to be small, especially those first couple weeks. All of a sudden you get to the lagging indicator and somebody sees you 3 years after working out and you scarf down a full pizza and a 12-pack, like, must be nice to do that. Well, yeah, you don't know the, 3,000 hours I put in the gym to have the ability to have this one-off day.
And I think the gym is such a good example, okay? When you compare, for example, some of those that go to the gym and in business, right? We talked about, you can go to the gym every day, for example, and see no difference, right? You need right eating, you need a trainer, you need the vitamins, you need all of this. In a business, as a human being, we need the same thing. Okay, in a business, we don't know it all. We're consistently learning and consistently putting ourselves out there. So reaching out to coach, reaching out, obviously, do I need a consultant for the business? Because we will get to a point where we're gonna plateau. Very much the same at a gym. You're gonna reach a point where you see no more difference and you're like, okay, I've gotten too comfortable, it's time to step it up. And I think in a business it's the same way. I mean, you guys have grown so much. Think of where you were at, where you're at right now. Had it not been for all the work behind the scene that people don't see, it would be really hard to get where you want to get.
I think it's what's different is that when people look at it, they make a decision on coaching. They think, shall I do it or shall I not? And actually, I think the answer is you're always going to have a source of education. You're always going to have a mentor. It could come by way of a 6-figure coach, or it could come by way of you dedicating 18 hours a day to listening to every single podcast and YouTube you could possibly imagine. And if you want to get there quicker, you go to the person who's done it and you pay that 6 figures. And it took me 4 years to learn that, because I literally think I listened to every podcast about real estate, every episode, every YouTube.
Yeah.
And 4 years in, I was further along than others that I knew. But what if I just would have hit up that business coach or that life coach 4 years ago? Like, where the heck would I be now? And I think the key is making an individual realize that it's not, shall I get a coach or not? It's what source do you want for your education? And do you want to get there quicker, or do you want it to be a self-taught thing? And that self-taught, nobody in the world is self-taught. Nobody.
Self-taught is extremely difficult. I've read the books. I've listened to the podcast. I'm exactly like you. I made way more progress from the moment I hire a coach. And let me tell you, nobody wants to hear you're doing this wrong or you're doing this. But when they start telling you and
but
they
you need
start
to.
noticing, you're like, oh my God. There were times where I would say, I didn't even know that by myself. I had not even noticed. I mean, that's the thing. We're consistently learning.
Yep.
We're consistently learning. And the more we learn about ourselves and the more we are applying that to our business, the more successful it's going to be. The coaches are surrounded by some of the best people anyways. And I've been introduced, I've had the opportunity to sit down with some of these people, and it just gives you a totally different perspective. And by the way, my personal coach is not even in real estate. I would say this and he would laugh. I purposely chose a male coach, and I wanted somebody who was not in real estate because that would push me different. And he's been amazing.
No, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, my personal coach too, I'm teaching him some things about real estate. That's not, he's great at business, but also to that, you're going to receive, whether you want to call it coaching or something from anywhere, whether it says 30-second TikTok videos of non-significant, non-important information. You're filling your head with something throughout the day. What do you want to fill it with?
Yep.
And what are you going to make the most progress out of, and what's going to get you to where you want to be? And I think oftentimes, people are taking on like, well, I just learned this from this video. Now I'm ready to go take on the world. And why is it not working? Well, there's just a lot more substance to it than you can get from that. So
nobody wants to be held accountable.
It's painful.
It is very painful.
Tax your ego.
but it works.
Yeah.
I mean, there are days where I want to tell my coach, F off, you're pushing the wrong button, but it makes sense what he's doing. And thanks to that, it makes you grow. It makes you realize something about yourself. You're applying something into your business. I mean, 2023, I highly recommend get a coach. There's different prices, there's different people, and the question is, how do I find the right one? Okay, you network. You ask, you find out. I have a real estate coach and I have a personal coach. They're different, but it aligns. Everything aligns anyway.